Good afternoon, beauties. Today we're going to go ahead and do an unboxing of the Black Max weed eater. This one's a 2-cycle. Picked it up from Walmart. Walmart's price says on it is running about, I think the sticker said $139, but we actually picked it up for $123. That's the going price on it right now. If you're shopping around, we're going to talk about it. Let's go. So when Corey and I moved here about 2 years ago, we bought one. The only difference between this model and the brand new one that we just picked up is that this one is a curved bar, whereas the new one that we got is a straight bar. So I have literally run this one right through the ringer. The motor on it is good. It runs, but what's going on is that the bar that's inside that turns everything, it completely snapped. So it's pretty well done for. Replacement parts for it, I don't even think you can find them because it's kind of like a disposable thing at this point.
Yeah, you know, you pay $100 for a weed eater and you get 2 years out of it. That's actually pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, we looked at other price tags for some comparable weed eaters from bigger brand, well, not, I wouldn't say bigger brands, Craftsman's made in Kung Pao Il China or what the hell ever now. Yeah, I think a comparable model was pushing $200. I saw $230 price tag. Not
yeah,
we went to difference in CC either, 24, 25 CC. That's kind of the standard for weed eaters, about 25 CC in 2-stroke. Yeah.
We went to Lowe's yesterday trying to shop around. We were just not really impressed with the price tags. Craftsman, they wanted well over $200 for, and it just seemed like it was really cheap compared to how they used to be made. We decided to go back to the Black Max.
One, I put an upgraded head on it with some, I think they call it individual string head. And I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons as to why this this turn rod inside the rod broke. It's because this is a lot of string to be flinging around for 25 cc's. I do think they cut better. I always like having them on it, but in all reality, you need just a little bit more power to be able to successfully turn all, well, it's 6 strings on there at the end of the day. Yeah, and I like using these because it avoids that old mechanism, all of us that's been around lawn care equipment long enough, beating the crap out of it and hoping more string expands out. But I guess they've come a long way in recent years because they're easier to load, easier to use, and you'll see that when Sarah goes to unboxing it because you're putting this together, not me.
I'm like the weed eater queen around here, so yeah, this is my duty. So enough talk, let's unbox it. Okay, here we go.
Ooh.
Align and assemble 2 shafts until fully seated. So the old weed eater, we upgraded the head because years ago these ones were not very good quality. So yeah, they've come a long way. You could beat the crap
out of it on the ground and nothing would come out.
Yeah.
Loading it up was always an epic effort, mainly because you one wrong thing and you got springs and string flying everywhere.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool. So this one, it's a matter of pulling.
So when you hit it on the ground, not undeniably hard, you go ahead and pull one, I got the other. You hit it on the ground, this is spring released, and it's going to let it out. So you hit it on the ground, which my hand is mimicking, hitting it on the ground. and it pulls it out to a certain length. Looks like it goes out about 2 inches right there. And loading this thing up, it doesn't require disassembling the entire head. So loading this thing up, when it comes time to load it, it's just a matter of inserting it into the little hole and turning it in. And then it'll lock in place. That's it.
Yeah, they've come a long way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We used to fight with those.
I don't know how it's going to work with loading a brand new string, but it looks like it's going to be pretty much the same. And
Kent, I didn't even know those came with it now.
yeah, it's 2-stroke oil for those that mix their own 2-stroke mix.
Okay, step 3. Spread the handle over the head shaft and snap into place. Secure with bolt and wing nut.
There you go. Now you set it where you want it.
That is pretty well where I work.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm going to set it there for now. When I actually go to use it for the first time, since it's just a wing nut,
yeah.
I'll adjust it more from there.
All right. Just a little plastic bolt.
Oh, it's a metal bolt. I thought there was a nut inside there, but there's not.
That's how it locks in place. Now you put your bolt on.
Is that actually supposed to pinch all the way together?
The more the barrier. But you don't want to strip this plastic either.
This is fancy.
It's not fancy, it's just new. It feels fancy because it's brand new.
Fancy.
Fancy.
It's fancy.
So go ahead and extend your left arm all the way out.
I'll never do that. I always...
Okay, well, your grass isn't typically 2 feet high, so go ahead and lower it to the ground. Ah, so you want that thing a little closer, don't you?
Probably, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the less you can avoid getting your forearm on that engine, the better.
Yeah, so I'm holding it, it'll be like this. Yeah. This particular weed eater is 0.095, so this is a trim line that we bought. That's trim line that came in the box.
This newer style trim line comes with these, it's basically several smaller twin lines twirled together and melted together. Sort of gives it an edge, so to speak, to work with as far as cutting stuff. So it cuts a little better compared to your standard trim line is just your typical nylon cord.
And apparently there's a break-in procedure.
Well, with any brand new motor, you know, you don't want to just fuel it up and go full throttle.
Why not, honey?
It'll score the piston rings and your combustion chamber, and it gets ugly. It gets ugly fast.
Oh, well, it's a good thing we're doing it the way it's supposed to be done, right?
What would you have done if I wasn't around? You're just going to fuel it up and just go to town?
Fuel it up and go, baby!
I'm sure that's what a lot of people do with these budget machines. But there's a reason why we got the last one to go 2 years. Because I put it together and broke it in properly.
So it really doesn't take much to put them together. Sorry, the lighting is kind of wonky here. You know, we're kind of working in our shed. Break-in procedure.
It's not saying much as far as break-in. So the typical homeowner is actually going to follow this quick step guide here, and it actually says squeeze the throttle, full throttle, right there in this first time assembly and quick start guide. Pump that primer 10 times. You're gonna flood it out. So no wonder there's several reviews on Walmart.com saying this thing just won't start. I don't get it. That's
because they put the fuel in and go, baby.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, so aside from the quick start, how should we really break it in?
The first couple of gas tanks, or at least through one full gas tank, probably half throttle at the most. Read all instructions. That's a lot of words and stuff.
Oh, well, I bet you there's like 6 different languages in there. So.
Probably. Probably half throttle, maybe third throttle, 3/4 throttle at the most. But, yeah. Products, things. You can turn it off, or you can film me looking through this thing. I don't care.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime moment. He's reading the manual.
You know, believe it or not, most, you know, man's type guy that like chainsaws, hedge trimmers, you know, power tools. This is about the only time you'll actually catch us reading the manual. It's just usually not on camera. So yes, this is a rare sight. Yeah, it's like catching a Karen in the wild, you know. This one's a 50-to-1.
So this instruction booklet actually doesn't really talk about a fuel mixture ratio, but if you look on the machine, it does tell you it's a 50-to-1 fuel ratio. Hey, where's that can that we just got?
It's sitting over there.
So if you go look in Walmart, you can actually find 2-cycle fuel, and you'll notice the cans. This is a dual one, so it can be used for the 40-to-1 ratio, and it can be used for the 50-to-1 ratio. It is a little pricey, but it's a lot better than mixing it yourself, because you will never be able to get the ratio to manufacturer specifications if you're doing it yourself.
More than likely that pre-purchased feed premix is probably a 45-to-1. That's why it says it's good for 50-to-1 or 40-to-1.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, with these types of budget machines, I got Poland Pro chainsaws, budget chainsaw. We got a Poland Pro hedge trimmer, budget hedge trimmer, Black Max Walmart special weed eater, budget. If I were to get a fancier machine, Husqvarna Echo, or if I could ever afford a Steel, you know, when we win the lottery, yeah, I would actually go with the actual premix of actual ratio that they want in their machines. Pretty sure Husqvarna puts 50-to-1 in there, so I would actually purchase true 50-to-1. But for all this budget stuff, we're going to put budget premix in it. But we're not so budget to where we actually attempt mixing our own fuel, because despite all of the tricks that you see online, this one came with the Poland Pro.
So this one came with...
well, no, it came with this one.
Yeah. So it came with this one for the Black Max weed eater, and then our Poland came with its own little premix bottle.
Yeah, that came with one of the chainsaws, so they use 50-to-1 too. And it's a matter of mixing this into 1 gallon. The thing about mixing your own fuel, a lot of people forget about, is when you go to do that, unless you're completely cleaning out your fuel can, your ratio changes every time. So eventually, because there's more oil in it, oil likes to stick around, oil likes to hang out in there, especially if you don't shake it around. You've probably caught me shaking that 2-stroke container around. Even though it's premixed at a manufacturer, if you're mixing it yourself, it just never quite hits that mark like the stuff that you can purchase as far as the premix, because it's mechanically and, you know, designed at a factory and manufactured to those specifications. So I can do it. I can pre-mix my own fuel. Another problem is you want to get the cheaper fuel, the 85 octane, the 87 octane that has what are they, ethanol in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of these small engine components, they don't like ethanol. So again, you're stuck buying 100 proof fuel to mix with your ratio, but most people want to go cheap and get the 85 octane, the 87, whatever. Just buy the premix, do yourself a favor. You know. This instruction manual doesn't actually say anything about break-in. So I'm just going to go off a rule of thumb. The first couple of fuel tanks in this thing, even though you're going to be running it honey, stick with half throttle, 3/4 at the most. Yes, it's going to take longer to actually do what you want to do, but it'll help you get used to the machine. And because I don't want to look out the window and see you beating and banging around on this thing, trying to get the line to come out. Or
I would never do that. I might throw it, but...
Yeah, this is useless information.
How's that go? You're supposed to throw the manual?
Yeah, where's our trash pile? Where is it? Is that our trash pile right there?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'll hold on to it because it actually has troubleshooting and stuff. There's some information on maintenance periods. We actually did not maintain that other hedge trimmer at all. I never changed the spark plug. I never cleaned it. I never adjusted the carburetor.
And that was never the problem with it either.
It was the head on it was just too heavy, so.
Okay, that's a wrap for us. And now you know what comes in the box if you're headed to Walmart anytime soon to get a new weed eater because, well, like me, you abuse the crap out of it. What?
Nothing, honey.
I was being honest. That was honesty. That was real. We will.
Sounds expensive. Honesty is expensive.
Honesty is expensive. We will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.